Hello everyone, it's Seri here and Mellow, welcoming you guys to our first Specimen Saturday. So these are going to be episodes where I go through all of the various specimens, which include live animals, and things like my seashells, my wasp collections. Do you want to say hi, Mellow? This is Mellow. He's my male crested gecko, and we're actually going to talk about crested geckos for a little bit today because you guys seemed to really love my little girl Maya last week. And I love these guys, and very few people seem to know about how easy they are as reptiles to take care of, to handle. They really are my favorite introductory reptile pet for anybody who's really interested in getting to know reptiles and getting to know their care and their basics. So I thought I would introduce you guys officially to the crested gecko. This is the new Caledonian. He's gonna jump again. See how he poses? There we go. Come here. Come here. Pose for the camera. You can see he's got white lipping. Maya does not actually have white lipping. I don't think Midna does either. You guys might meet Midna soon. She is my only my only frog butt gecko that has no tail. But this is the new Caledonian Crested Gecko. And he is not the same color or pattern as Maya from last week, and that's not because he's a boy. That's actually just because there's lots and lots of different morphs, there's lots and lots of different patterns for crested geckos that you can see out there. And these guys are actually pretty new to the pet market, and that's, in my opinion, a good thing. You shouldn't have that many exotics on the pet market, especially ones that are as cheap and easy to find as crested geckos. And actually, not more than 20 years ago, 20 years ago in 1994, they actually were thought to be extinct. So they are from the island of New Caledonia, about 750 miles off the east coast of Australia, and it was thought that this species of gecko was extinct on the islands before they were rediscovered, and a breeding population was brought over to the US and to some other countries, and they're very easy to breed. So it is now illegal, last I checked, to export them from their native island of New Caledonia, which is a good thing because the pet market can really drive a lot of species close to extinction. Look at his little feet. Look at his little feet. If you guys watch closely, you can see him jump. You can see as he walks, he'll lift his toes, the tips of his toes up, because the very tips of his toes have lamellae on them that he actually uses to have that sticky effect. He does have a sticky effect too. Hang on, Mellow. Get a good grip. As you can see, he's not falling off, and that's not because he's gripping my fingers. He has a bit of a grip on him, but it's because the bottom of each of his toe pads and his tail, the very tip of his tail right at the end here, actually have lamellae on them that give geckos their sticking effect. And if you want to get into the technical physics of how they stick, it's not that they're sticky. This isn't like having a little sticker on my arm. It actually has to do with static electricity, which we won't go into, but if you want to know more about the sticking effect of geckos, look up gecko toes and static electricity, and you will learn some really amazing things. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Mellow? They are nocturnal, so he's not the happiest that I have him out right now. But I'm happy he's around because, like I said, until 1994, this species was thought to be extinct. And there's dozens of amazing species on the island of New Caledonia, many of which we'll talk about in the future. I'm really excited. You wanna learn about the satanic leaf gecko, Mellow? Huh? But the crested gecko gets its name, if he'll oblige me. Hang on, Mellow. From these crests. You can see these crests that are up along his back, and he also has the nickname of eyelash gecko. If he'll hold still just long enough, did you see that just? He's like, I'm trying to climb on you, ma'am. Mellow, go this way. Go this way. You can see his crest, and they are not hard. He is a reptile, so he is a very dry animal. He's not like an amphibian. He doesn't have moist skin. He has dry skin. He does love a humid environment, but he's not slimy. He's dry-skinned, and he's scaly, and he's very soft. That's what a lot of people were always shocked about when they would handle a crested gecko for the first time, is that you think reptiles are going to be really... Can you get a good look at your eyelashes? Yeah, there we go. That's where crested geckos get the name eyelash gecko. But a lot of people think that reptiles like these are going to be really like slimy. I can't believe how many people think snakes are slimy. They're not. I don't know, unless they just rolled around in something. But Mellow here is not slimy. He's very, very, very soft. He is a cold-blooded animal, so he is actually getting more active the longer I handle him because he is absorbing some of my body heat. Normally, he will just get the ambient temperature because New Caledonia has a pretty forgiving environment, but he'll just get some of the ambient temperature, and if he needs to warm up, find a nice little patch of sun. But they are nocturnal, so he prefers to stay under the leaves all day. I actually just dug him out from under one of his favorite hiding spots. Each of my geckos has a personality, which it's a strong word to use because it's not like the personality of a person or some of the mammals that I've been friends with, or even some of my birds have more distinctive behavior. But, yeah, Mellow. But they do have their own quirks, and that gives them their personality. And I really think that makes him amazing, but he is nocturnal, so he spends most of his time under a particular leaf in their tank, so he really enjoys that. And you can tell he's a boy because of this little bit under his tail right there. That little bump lets you know that this happens to be a male crested gecko. Maya and Midna do not have those bumps because they are both females. Those don't really show up until they're about 8 months to a year in some of the smaller geckos. So when you get a brand new baby crested gecko, they're much smaller. This is an adult crested gecko. He's not even a very large crested gecko. He's not obese. He's not skinny. He's kind of a finicky eater, this one, so it can be tricky for me to make sure he gets enough food because he's very picky. He does not like the same flavoring day after day. I have to vary it up between a couple different flavors. But Mellow, yeah, he is a boy. Yeah, and the reason he keeps moving is because he feels exposed. He's outside. It's not nighttime, and he wants to go back under his leaves, but they actually are arboreal geckos. They prefer to be high up in trees. So in the wild, you're going to find them high up in the trees, hiding under leaves during the day. You got it? He's settling down now. He usually lives up to his name. But he's a really gentle creature. Like, as you can see, he's just chilling on my hand. They like to be held for, well, like to be held is not what they actually do. They tolerate being held for a few minutes, like about 15, 20-ish minutes. Some for longer, some for shorter. Midna does not really prefer being handled. And they're reptiles, so you kind of accept that when you get a reptile. There's something for you to have a unique relationship of observing and respecting, and not really so much the relationship that you do with a cat or dog, where it's picking them up and snuggling them against your chest. You respect the animal and its quirks and the fact that he may be enjoying my body heat right now, but he would much rather prefer being under his leaf. He doesn't miss me. And you can see him licking his nose right now, and he actually has no eyelids. So when he cleans his eyes, he sticks that tongue of his out and licks his eyeball. So that's how he cleans his tongue. And he has no real teeth. He kind of has serrations in his mouth, just little bumps. And in the wild, what they normally do is eat ripe and overripe fruit. So he is a fruit eater. And occasionally they will eat insects. Though Mellow, Mellow's not really big on feeder insects. Midna will eat all of them. I have to separate her sometimes to make sure that the others have a chance to at least think about it. So they eat basically crickets and dubia roaches. Dubia roaches are just a type of feeder roach, very high in protein. We can talk about that some other time. But they're soft. They're gentle. They're pretty easy to care for. Their setup is very basic. They tolerate being handled pretty well. They are really mellow, like Mellow. And I really love New Caledonian Crested Geckos, and I would love to go to New Caledonia one day and be able to find or learn about more of the New Caledonian natives, because this is an amazing little creature who jumped back from extinction and into the lives of hundreds of thousands of people throughout the world as pets now, kind of to help bridge that gap between people's stereotypical views of reptiles and their amazing natural quirkiness. So everybody, this is Mellow, my new Caledonian Crested Gecko, also known as a eyelash gecko or cresty. He is a pretty awesome little guy. Say bye, Mellow. And we will learn more about them in the future. So if you have more questions, please feel free to ask me. I am by no means an expert of crested geckos, just a passionate pet owner. And I put hours and hours of research into trying to figure out how to take good care of them, as you should with any animal. And I'm happy to share what I learn and what I know and my passion for my wonderful family members with you guys in the future. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us for our first Specimen Saturday. And remember guys, stay curious. Bye guys.